Hello, welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I'm working on the 52 favorite everyday photos hop. This hop is ran by Miranda Weber. There's a playlist listed in the description box below. This is also going to be a layout for how to kill a kit with style and baby got scraps, because I have a little bit of my kit as well as a few scraps from my kit. So I think it was yesterday's video that I said that it was the last full sheet of patterned paper in my kit. I lied. This is the last full sheet, for reals. It really is. I forgot that I still had this sheet. And then I have these scraps that I cut out for another layout. Just cut, I cut a cut file with it, I think. And then it had some weird, had some weird leftover triangles. So no, Kristen, I didn't intentionally cut out triangles to play with, but I have them, so we're gonna go ahead and play with those. My everyday photos are from September of 2016. This is my youngest daughter, Emily, and she is doing a science project, and I'm gonna be using these photos to complete this layout. Now, if you are new here, I homeschooled my kids for well over 20 years. And we basically had two sets of kids. We had three back to back really fast, and then we took a break and had two more. So 23 years may seem like a long time, and it was a long time, but it was because we had a little bit of a gap between the two sets of kids. So I was teaching her some science experiment here, and I honestly don't remember what we were doing, but it's an everyday photo time that I spent with my little girl in the kitchen. We did so many different science experiments that year. I had a really good science curriculum that we loved, and it was definitely project based. And so we did fun things like making lava lamps, and we made a smoke bomb. Way to go, introduce your family to a new neighborhood by making a smoke bomb in your front yard. Luckily nobody called the cops on us, but anyway, so I have lots of different things left from my counterfeit kit, How to Kill a Kit with Style. And at this point I have after this layout I will only have scraps and embellishments left, which was my absolute goal for this month in January. Hopefully I can use up the rest of the scraps as well, and then I will have just the embellishments left. That is one thing I can say about Hip Kit. You always have more than enough embellishments. So I'm going to pause. We're going to get started with this. I'll be right back. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this triangle and I'm going to try to fix the point on it, which just means trimming off a little sliver. You'll have to excuse my little helper. He really thinks that when I record, it's time for him to come up and get attention. It doesn't matter what time of day I do it. He just wants to be up there with me. It's kind of funny. So at first I looked at doing the yellow side, and you know what? I really just didn't want the yellow side for the triangle. I intentionally had used the second triangle and used one of my circle dies to cut out as much of a mat for that photo that I used a circle die to cut into a circle. I know that there's a flat spot on that, and I will cover that up. That's not going to end up being a huge deal. I grabbed a Pinkfresh Studio scrap out of my scrap pile to map my photo with, the bigger photo, because I didn't really want to use white. And so I just grabbed another scrap. It's not like I don't have an abundance of different scraps laying off to the right hand side. So that's how I'm going to base it, and nothing is really glued down other than the mats. I am adding the word stories. It's going to be part of my title. It's actually going to be titled Homeschool Stories, and I wanted to make sure that I used that house die cut because we're at home and we're doing science. So that gives me enough embellishment. Well, gives me an embellishment there. Now I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't pull enough embellishments from my kit. So I do go back and grab a couple of other things from my kit. some things that I hadn't opened. There were some butterflies that I will grab here in a little bit. But for now, I am just kind of trying to use up more of that chipboard sheet. My goal was to actually use all of the paper and use as many of the New Day embellishments that I'd added to the January 2023 kit because they matched and because I had no paper left. I didn't quite manage to do that. That leaf die cut was another one that I had tried to use up before and set aside. It was in a little bowl off to the side. So next up, I went ahead and I grabbed some of the labels that I keep in a binder. They're right behind where I stand to record, so it makes them handy to grab. And I cut out 2 blue ones that matched my paper pretty well. So that's where I'm going to. That's how I'm covering up that flat spot on my mat, as well as getting the journaling on here. I wanted to bring in these butterflies. These butterflies came from one of my hip kits. I don't even know which one, but I've been tossing them in counterfeit kits for months, and I've never even opened them. So I finally opened them and got them onto this page. So I got my layout completely finished. I showed on camera everything that I did except for cutting out the journaling labels. I did add these butterflies, as I mentioned before. They've been packed in a counterfeit kit for months, and I just really wanted to use them. I used some foam adhesive to put along the middle of them so I could flip up those wings, added some puffy dots. I was really happy to grab these butterflies for this layout because I felt like since they were black and white, they didn't compete with the other colors in this layout. This layout does have a lot of color in it, and I felt like those butterflies really helped bring it all together. So I want to thank you for coming to my channel today. I really appreciate those of you who take the time to like, comment, and or subscribe. There are 3 playlists in that description box below. One for the Everyday Photos Hop, one for Baby Got Scraps, and one for How to Kill a Kit with Style. So make sure that you check out each playlist. Some of us on the plate will be on all 3 playlists, and there will be others who are only just doing one of the hops or maybe only 2 of the hops. I managed to get all 3 hops into this layout, which makes me pretty happy. So make sure you check out those playlists. You will enjoy I do have some amazing creative scrappy friends here, and I love to point you towards their work. I've got several friends who are very close to 500 subscribers, so if you don't subscribe to everybody on the playlists, just click that button. They will really appreciate that. If you have any comments or questions about my layout, please drop them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I hope that you have a great Monday and a great rest of your week. Bye.